All right, everybody. It's time for more Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, as you know, One Piece and My Hero are on break right now, so the only chapter reaction I got for you today is Jujutsu. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another Jujutsu Kaisen chapter reaction and review. Last we left off, we pretty much had Yuji and the squad trying to formulate how they were going to take on Sukuna. More so, how they were going to use Higuruma's domain expansion to put Sukuna on trial, and therefore use Judgment's abilities to potentially kill Sukuna. Since Sukuna is no longer within Yuji, and Yuji was pretty much tried for crimes that Sukuna committed, because Sukuna was within his body, such as, the massive massacre of Shibuya when Sukuna was fighting Maharaga, and then using domain expansion and killed hundreds upon hundreds of people. He had to go through the trial, but it kind of went like on standby, I think. It kind of got held over. So now, since Sukuna is separate from Yuji, Higuruma gets him inside of his domain expansion, and now Sukuna is on trial, completely separate from Yuji, with the crimes that Sukuna committed still being there and hopefully be held against him. But who knows how things are going to go with Sukuna on trial within this domain. So let's go ahead and find out how things go down. With Chapter 245, Inhuman Makyo Shinjuku Showdown Part 17. And we have Uraume fighting Kinji. I've been separated from Master Sukuna. Frost, calm! And Uraume summons this gigantic ball of ice against Kinji. Frost Calm strikes with cursed energy in a super cool state to freeze its target. It is the essence of ice formation, and Kinji's arm has been caught within this. Kinji's arm has been caught within this sphere, inside of this ball of ice. Think Kuzan with Ice Ball and Flash Frozen. And then Uraume punches this ice block, destroying not only the ice block, but Kinji's arm as well. And then Uraume summons more ice in their hands, going, "This is over." But then all of a sudden, a hand's directly in front of Uraume, and it's Kinji, who has completely regenerated his arm, and then proceeds to slam Uraume directly into a building. Then Uraume makes this gigantic ice spear, going, "His regenerative speed is incredible. In that and nothing else, he surpasses even Master Sukuna and Satoru Gojo," saying that Kinji Akari's regenerative reverse curse technique is stronger than both Sukuna and Gojo's. And seeing as how Uraume was there to watch the fight and knows about Gojo and Sukuna, yeah, this is no small feat. Having regeneration faster than Sukuna and Gojo? Come on, Kinji! Then you gotta think of Kinji's domain expansion, which essentially, if he hits a jackpot, he's invulnerable for like 2 minutes and so many seconds. 2 minutes and so many seconds. I'll look up his domain expansion and cursed abilities later on. But Uraume throws a spear at Kinji and it goes straight through his body. But he ignores it and he completely regenerates. That didn't stop him. You bastard! And then Kinji starts clashing with Uraume. Then Uraume freezes Kinji's leg and tries to snap it off. But Kinji regenerates so fast that he winds up hitting Uraume in the face. This man, Kinji, with his regeneration, it's like, this high-speed generation is too much for Uraume to overcome. Because every time Uraume tries to freeze Kinji, Kinji regenerates pretty much almost instantly. But Uraume gets drop-kicked by Kinji and sent flying through so many buildings. Found my shoe. I see you differently now, huh? Sorcerers today try hard to retain their humanity, so they refrain from using their powers to break what they can break. but their fear of alienation is a weakness. And then this whole water just starts to erupt from all around both Urume and Kinji. She froze the water pipes so they'd rupture. But you aren't like that. Okay, so the fact that Kinji is calling Urume she, because Urume's gender was never established. It was never fully established. Sukuna just called Urume, and that's it. There was nothing to prominently define Urume's gender. But if Kinji is calling her she, then we can call Urume she now, if that's the case. If it's not the case, then I'll just go back to calling Urume they. But Kinji says, she froze the water pipe so they rupture. But you aren't like that. You're different. I don't consider you human anymore. So I'll crush you with everything I have. And Urume is just standing there, and it looks like she's freezing the water all around them. Is humanity the in thing now? A guy I know just said something similar. And Kinji is referring to Yuta Okkotsu. He's the gloomy sort, but he speaks up when he has to and comes through when it counts. Sword really moved me. Which means I've been feeling hot, so let's bring the cold! And then Kinji just rushes at Urume. And then we cut to Higuruma's domain expansion, and Judgment speaks. Yuji Itadori stands accused of mass murder in Shibuya on October 31st, 2018. And then we have Higuruma going, Itadori didn't kill anyone. His confession during the second trial was due to irrational feelings of guilt. The real killer is you, Ryomen Sukuna. Judgment knows everything about anyone within this domain. Aside from this evidence, however, he does not share that information with me. The verdict depends solely upon our arguments. As in the previous trial, the evidence submitted by Judgment must be about Sukuna inside Itadori, and thus contain a detailed record of Sukuna's heinous acts when in possession of the boy's body. The mass murder in Shinjuku wouldn't have been possible without Sukuna's skill in sorcery. So as long as Sukuna's testimony doesn't cause the court to rule out criminal liability or declare him criminally insane, then this evidence should result in a victory for us and the death penalty for Sukuna. The evidence is not necessarily enough. And Sukuna just interrupts Judgment. I heard the domain's rules when I was inside the boy. I'm only interested in the sword. I don't care what I did or when. So let's get this over with. Guilty! Confiscation! Death penalty! And then the domain dissipates. Judgment says, guilty! Confiscation! Death penalty! And the domain dissipates, and it shows Sukuna and Yuji as the gavel turns into the sword. It starts to turn into the sword, and Sukuna starts smiling. Executioner's sword. I believe Sukuna lost the Ten Shadows technique in the fight against Gojo, so there's a high possibility that confiscation will fall on Malevolent Shrine. Then Sukuna won't have any curse technique to use, but I'll be holding a sword sure to kill. Therein lies a chance of success that Sukuna's opponents must seize. So the sorcerers from Jujutsu High also... Oh wait, this is Higuruma going, so there's a high possibility that a confiscation will fall on Malevolent Shrine. Then Sukuna won't have any curse technique to use, but I'll be holding a sword sure to kill. Because Higuruma has the sword. If he hits Sukuna with it, Sukuna's dead. But we get narration. Therein lies a chance of success that Sukuna's opponents must seize. So the sorcerers from Jujutsu High also take the field. So we have, what is his name? Not Ino. I think it's Ino. Ino, Choso, and we also got Kusakabe. And then a voice says, "Do you want to die, Higuruma?" And then Higuruma's eyes are wide open. Eyes are wide open as everyone tries to rush Sukuna on the field. And then we get more narration. But Sukuna and Higuruma had realized that the chance of success was a sham. And then Kusakabe runs in front of Higuruma, and he immediately gets buffeted by a whole bunch. Then he gets he gets cut up by a whole bunch of slashes all of a sudden. And Higuruma gets hit as well. And that's when he remembers the, what is this? Kumatoke. Kamutoke. The Kamutoke. You know, the Supreme Martial Solution, but I'm going to call it Kamutoke. The Kamutoke that Sukuna was using before. If the target of punishment is carrying a cursed tool, then confiscation applies not to a cursed technique, but to the cursed tool. So, this means that when Judgment said that Sukuna was guilty, that he gets the death penalty, and confiscation hits him, confiscation only applied to the Kamutoke, which means Sukuna has access to all of his techniques, and he does not waste any time going after Higuruma and anyone else. But Higuruma is one of the first people hit as he uses his slashes to just cut up Kusakabe and Higuruma in one instant. This is bad. Okay? This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. And now I'm seeing what you guys have said. Holster, good to see you. Sukuna just wants to test the Executioner's Sword. If only it was that easy. If it was only the Kamutoke that was confiscated and he still has his cursed techniques. Exactly. That's exactly what I said. Kitty, hello. Good to see you. We're reacting to the newest chapter of Jujutsu. And things are already looking bad for everybody. Because Sukuna was on trial. He was given the death penalty. But unfortunately, since he was using a cursed tool beforehand, confiscation from Judgment's domain expansion, this is a lot, I know, confiscation from Judgment's domain expansion only confiscated the cursed tool, and not the cursed techniques that Sukuna has at his disposal. That includes Malevolent Shrine and the 10 Shadows technique. So what this means is that Sukuna is still fully capable of killing everyone. How are they going to survive that? Is Higuruma and Kusakabe just dead now? I don't know. We don't see their bodies fall apart from getting slashed, but they do get slashed. And the slash doesn't go all the way through them. It just cuts across them, but it doesn't cut completely through them. The slashes stop about halfway. If it was a clean cut, these cuts were meant to maim, not to kill, which seems more like Sukuna's style. Maim the people that tried to kill him, and then he kills them afterwards. So, it seems more inclined that he just launched out slashes to make them fully realize that he has... Because this does seem like a Sukuna thing to do. I'm going to launch out my slashes, but it's not going to kill. Just to let them know that, hey, I still got my cursed techniques. You may have taken my cursed tool away from me, but I still got 2 whole separate cursed techniques I can be using right now. So just to give you a little bit of taste before you die, yeah, that's the situation that we're in right now, which is bad. It's very bad. This is very bad. Matter of fact, let me see if they got the full, see if they got like the full synopsis, because I love reading that. Makes it a lot more detailed. Let me see. And of course, we don't... Oh, wait, here it is. Full description. Full description. Okay, just a short summary. Short, not a short summary, a short summary. So here's a summary. They don't have the full details yet. Somewhere in Shinjuku, the battle between the 9 invincible Akari and Uraume rages on. Meanwhile, Sukuna admits responsibility for the massacre of Shibuya in hopes of seeing the Executioner's Sword. The domain dispels and success is seemingly secured, but a critical oversight of the domain's rules threatens the Jujutsu Sorcerer's survival. So, curious about something. If Sukuna had more than one cursed tool, would it confiscate all of them or just one of them? Honestly, It's possible it might just be one. It might just be one. Because if we go back through this chapter, and Higuruma's thinking to himself, I believe Sukuna lost the 10 Shadows techniques in the fight against Gojo. So there's a high possibility that confiscation will fall on Malevolent Shrine. Actually, when you think about it, he hasn't been using the 10 Shadows technique ever since he assumed his perfect form. He's only been using his own innate techniques. Just the ones surrounding Malevolent Shrine and the like. He hasn't used any 10 Shadows techniques at all ever since his fight with Gojo. So, we can rule that out. But if he had more than one cursed tool, I would imagine that the cursed tools, either one, if he had more than one, either one of those would go first before his own cursed technique was taken. Not gonna lie, I'm excited to see more of Hikari versus Uroume. Yeah, it should be interesting. What with Uroume's ice curse technique, ice formation, and the like. And the thing is that sticks out to me about this fight between Hikari and Uroume is that Uroume is facing an individual who she says is full domain, who she says has better regeneration than both Sukuna and Satoru Gojo. So it's just going to be a never-ending battle. Every time Uroume's frozen a part of Hikari's body, not only has it snapped off, has she tried to snap it off, but he instantly retaliates with a fully regenerated arm, almost pretty much instantaneously. So Uroume's facing an individual who just keeps regenerating. Not only that, but he hasn't even used his, he isn't constantly using his own domain expansion in order to give himself invincibility. His regeneration is just that strong. So you mean to tell me that unless this man is using Jackpot to constantly regenerate, which I don't think he is, this man has by far the most insane reverse curse technique that I've seen of any character. Pretty much instantaneous. It's Jackpot Hikari, so it makes sense he has the best reverse curse technique. Yeah, so my thing is, when he's using Jackpot, doesn't he activate his domain expansion every single time just to hit Jackpot? Or does it just Jackpot without him having to open a domain? I'm trying to remember. Because I'm going to go over to his curse technique. So he has Rough Cursed Energy, Private Pure Love Train, Idle Death Gamble, Unkillable Mode. I think that's it. Yeah, you're right. It is him. He's active. When he broke out of that domain expansion, which is when everyone like Higuruma and Itadori fell down in front of Sukuna, he probably activated Jackpot and has been using his unkillable mode in order to fight Uroume. Because his unkillable mode is hitting the Jackpot of Idle Death Gamble grants Kinji a bonus of unlimited cursed energy for 4 minutes, 4 minutes, and 11 seconds, the exact duration of the Private Pure Love Train theme song Admiring You, which plays throughout the round. The limitless cursed energy causes Kinji's body to reflectively use reverse curse technique to automatically heal any injury, making him temporarily unkillable after hitting a Jackpot. So yeah, it's his domain expansion activating. It's his domain expansion activating, and he keeps hitting Jackpot, which pretty much makes him invincible against Uroume right now. And Uroume says, like, wait, let me go back. So I'll crush you with everything I have. You're different. Don't consider you human anymore. So I'll crush you with everything that I have. And the whole area around Uroume just completely change, as it looks like she creates like this solid ice moon behind her. Now, mind you, it's not overly huge, but it's akin to what you would see someone standing in front of in like a big dramatic background. So while that's going on, Kinji is just constantly invincible due to the effects of his own domain expansion. And then it cuts to Judgment as they're preparing to... as they prepare to rule out Sukuna, and Sukuna just admits to it. Judgment says guilty, confiscation, but the only thing that gets confiscated is Sukuna's Kamutoke. And the thing that concerns me is the fact that Sukuna is interested in the sword. Because he can re-roll it until he gets Jackpot, so it's not if he hits, it's more he can survive. It's more, can he survive until he hits jackpot? It's more so like that. Yeah, you're right. But the thing about Sukuna that concerns me is the fact that he's so interested in the Executioner's Sword, which is capable of just straight up killing. Straight up killing anyone who's hit by it. If they're hit by it, they just die. The person just dies. So why is Sukuna so interested in the sword? Does he want to see if it's capable of killing him? And if not, is it something he can take? That's the thing. And we got a message from Gege that Idle Death Gamble is good in domain clashes, so I hope we see that at some point. You know what? Let me look into it. Let's see. Here it is. The user must, right here, and I think I know why you're saying this, because it's in chapter 187, page 1. The user, okay, so here's the introduction to his domain expansion. Idle Death Gamble, CR Private Pure Love Train version 1/239 is based on a real pachinko machine and gets its theme from the eponymously named romance manga series. The user's goal is to hit the jackpot by lining up 3 of the same symbols decorated with the characters of Private Pure Love Train. The jackpot bonus grants the user unlimited cursed energy and a fully automatic reverse curse technique for 4 minutes and 11 seconds. The duration of the Private Pure Love Train theme song, Admiring You. The user must participate in the flow of the game in order to hit the aforementioned jackpot, with only a 1 in 239 chance of doing so. All of the rules of the game are transferred into the opponent's brain through the domain sure hit effect. This process is harmless, and as a trade-off, the construction and curse technique infusion of this domain are extremely fast, activating in less than 0.2 seconds. This also makes Idle Death Gamble very effective in a clash of domains. So we have all the characters, so we have the game flow, the scenarios, jackpot bonuses. Failure to hit a jackpot within a scenario will revert the stage back to the start. This will repeat until the user wins or runs out of chances to do so, with the number of possible spins decreasing with every missed jackpot. On the first activation of consecutive expansions, the probability of hitting the jackpot is over 20%. If a jackpot is hit, the domain disappears, and Admiring You plays out loud around the user, who receives a bonus of unlimited cursed energy for the duration of the song. The user has no restrictions on cursed energy and can receive bonus amounts randomly throughout the round. The unlimited cursed energy causes the body to reflexively heal itself even if the user never learned to perform reverse curse technique. This prevents the user's body from retaining damage and makes them effectively unkillable for 4 minutes and 11 seconds. By the end of the song, the user's cursed energy recedes back to normal, and their curse technique has already been replenished. This allows them to open their domain repeatedly as long as a jackpot is achieved. So so out of all the curse techniques that we have in Jujutsu, this one is kind of broken, because if he's able to keep re-rolling for a jackpot until he hits it, not only does he get unlimited energy, but he also becomes unkillable because that unlimited energy extends to his body reflexively using a reverse curse technique. For 4 whole minutes, he is straight up invincible because his body just instantly regenerates. And then, not only that, but, hit my desk a little bit. Not only that, once the song is over and the 4 minutes and 11 seconds is up, his cursed energy is completely replenished. His cursed energy and technique is completely replenished, and he's able to just start the domain once again. And he could just keep repeating the process. So Uruume has a very difficult opponent on his hands. So going back to it, by the end of the song, this allows them to open their domain repeatedly as long as a jackpot is achieved. The conditions of the game carry over from consecutive uses as well. If the user lined up 3 odd numbers, the stage will open in advanced probability rather than the neutral state. If the user lined up even numbers, they will start on a stage with faster spins. There is also a chance for the stage to begin in hidden probability, a pachinko mode similar to faster spins, but actually carries an increased probability to hit the jackpot. So, Uruume may have the worst opponent to fight right now. So that's interesting. You know, I love reading up the abilities of domain expansions and just the abilities of characters overall. And we don't know fully what Urume can do versus Kinji, who's just essentially invincible for 4 minutes. And when that's over, he just activates his domain expansion again, hits jackpot again, and then he's invincible for another 4 minutes. And then it repeats over and over and over. That's a broken domain expansion. But we should also be concerned about Higuruma and Kusakabe, because Kusakabe ran up in front of Higuruma to take the massive brunt of the slashes, and they've both been slightly maimed by this. So I don't know if Sukuna's toying with them. Seems like he is. Or I also find it intriguing that Urume says that humans worrying about being alienated makes them weak, yet Urume is also worried about being separated from Sukuna. That's a very human thing, isn't it? Funny how that works out. But we also got to be concerned about what Sukuna is going to do to everyone, considering that none of it, his curse technique has not been dissipated. The only thing that's been confiscated is the Kamutoke. That's it. But he still has access to his own malevolent shrine and his own innate curse technique. So we don't know what's about to happen. We're not going on break. So all the things I react to are going to come back this upcoming Sunday. But it's a concern if Sukuna can just activate his slashes again, especially his dismantle and cleave, which he's already learned to amp up to be capable of cutting straight through Gojo. Now he's fighting people who are not as durable. And will we ever find out what happened to Hajime? I believe in Kusakabe. I think he'll be fine. Please, the man has a family. Do we even know the fullest ability of what Kusakabe can do? Like, what's his own technique? What can he do? What's his jujutsu? Because I forgot if it's ever been mentioned. So he has great cursed energy, and he has barrier techniques. Grade 1 sorcerer possesses respectable levels of cursed energy to compensate for his lack of it. Oh, so he doesn't have an innate technique. He just has his sword and barrier techniques. To compensate for his lack of an innate technique, Kusakabe has mastered the new shadow style. This requires finely controlled cursed energy applications, such as casting Simple Domain, and coating his katana's blade with cursed energy. Kusakabe also has a keen sense of judging his opponent's strength, able to recognize someone on his level from a special grade in an instant. So he has Bato sword drawing and Evening Moon sword drawing. So with Bato sword drawing, it makes it so that he can draw his sword so fast. It is the fastest EI sword drawing technique of the new shadow style. Then he has Evening sword drawing, different stance than Bato sword drawing. Its capabilities are unknown because Kusakabe was interrupted before fully performing it. So will we finally see the Evening Moon sword drawing? He has a blood thing, doesn't he? Oh no, yeah, that's Choso. That's Choso. So we don't know the fullest of what Kusakabe's Evening Moon sword drawing can do. Bato sword drawing makes it so that he can draw his sword in like faster, making it the fastest EI drawing sword drawing technique for the entire new shadow style. But we haven't seen the Evening Moon sword drawing. Don't know how you got Kusakabe and Choso mixed up. Choso, remember that Choso is the one who has like this mark over his nose and he has like that messy hair. And Kusakabe is the one who's always wearing the trench coat. So yeah. But yeah, it's all good. Overall, I did like this chapter, but I am more concerned about what's about to happen next since Sukuna didn't have his curse technique robbed from him. He doesn't even need to get close to everyone. He can just let off slashes and just chip away at people if they're not careful. So this is a very concerning thing because he could also activate Malevolent Shrine if he wanted to. Actually curious to see what Ino will do. Yeah, because Ino's there as well. I'm glad that Gege is bringing him back into the fold because the last time we saw Ino, he got beat up by a resurrected Toji. And he was kind of body for a while. Sure, he recovered, but he wasn't involved in too much after that. So it's nice to see him being involved again since the events of the Shibuya incident, when you think about it. If I'm wrong, someone will correct me. No, 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 no. I think I'm wrong. I actually think I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. I think he was doing some other things. Takuma Ino. Yeah. Hold on. Let me see. Let me go to synopsis, battles, and events. No, I was right. The only thing he's been involved in fight-wise was him versus Ogami and the old lady Ogami and her grandson who turned into Toji. And then he got beat up by Toji. That's the last time we've seen him in something. I was right. Okay, so it should be interesting to see what Ino's about to do in this fight. But it's also majorly concerning, considering that, don't remember the last time we saw Ino apart from Shibuya. Yeah, I had to correct myself. I thought I was wrong, but I was actually right. We only seen him during the Shibuya incident, and that was it. But it should be interesting to see how everyone's going to fight Sukuna, due to the fact that the only thing that was taken from him was a cursed tool, and that's it. He's got his full capabilities, such as Malevolent Shrine and his own innate technique. He could activate his domain expansion right now if he wanted to, because Sukuna has not been put in a place where he's tired or he had to expend a whole bunch of energy. He's literally in a state right now where he's perfect. His breathing's perfect. He doesn't need to worry about anything. He's in his perfect state right now, which should be concerning. Considering that we got Choso, Yuji, Higuruma, Kusakabe, and Ino all trying to jump him. But what's Sukuna about to do? And why is he still so interested in this Executioner's Sword? But we're going to have to see next week. I know I could keep droning on, but I'll just keep saying the same stuff over and over in different ways, and I don't want to bog you all down with that. But overall, while I did like this chapter, I am concerned for everyone who's trying to rush Sukuna right now. I am concerned for everyone. But we're going to have to see what happens in next week's chapter. And I believe we only have we got 3 more Sundays, but the final Sunday of this month is the final day of this year. So we got one more we got 2 more Sundays after this one. And who knows if we're going to get a chapter on the 31st, but we'll have to see. Overall, we'll just have to see. Hope this hints that we see Nobara come back too. We're going to have to see. Because if I go over to Nobara, the last thing we know of was Arata Nita said that he uses innate technique on Nobara, and since her wounds were relatively newly gained, her chances of survival were non-zero. However, he also warns Yuji against holding out too much hope for his comrade's recuperation. So, who knows? Who knows, but we'll see. Finding! Good to see you, but unfortunately you came in at the end of my reaction, and I've already said in and everything that I actually wanted to say, so you're kind of coming in just really at the tail end. Overall, I'm excited to see what happens next, but I'm also majorly concerned about what's going to happen to everyone since Sukuna did not have his techniques taken. And they're still all trying to rush him. So, yeah, I pray people walk out of this alive, but given that it's Sukuna, who has no qualms cutting people apart in a moment's notice, I don't know. But we'll have to find out next week. I'm done, ladies and gentlemen. I enjoyed reading and reacting to today's Jujutsu chapter. And all I can say is, I'm concerned, but we'll have to wait until next week. Hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, subscribe, even become a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!